welcome to another edition of the Book Review Blog. Today I'm going to review the ebook Mile 81 by Stephen King. It was, along with the ebooks and audiobooks that I've done previously, not released as a book necessarily, a handheld book, but it was released as an ebook and then later on released as an audiobook. Like the stories that I had just done previously, it is a novella, meaning it's not very long. So let's get started. Mile 81 starts off with a 10-year-old boy named Pete Simmons, and he's trying to kind of act cool and trying to kind of show up his older brother by going to a deserted rest stop area off of the turnout Mile 81 on Interstate 95, and kind of say that he went there, he stayed there, or he spent some time there, and, if he wanted to get a souvenir from there, he could. So anyway, he goes there, and he, again, does spend some time there, and eventually he falls asleep in the rest stop. There's like a gas station, but it's abandoned, and there's a Burger King. And so, it's a typical kind of rest stop or kind of thing that you would find in an interstate, but this one just happens to be deserted. So anyway, as Pete is sleeping, first shows up is a very muddy station wagon, and there is no sign of a driver. The station wagon stops at the Mile 81, turnoff, and the front door opens, but nobody gets out. There's no, mention of like a leg that pops out or arm or anything like that. So anyway, next comes an insurance man by the name of Doug, and he sees this station wagon pulled off on this interstate, and he thinks that they need help. So Doug, he's described as like a religious man who thinks, oh, I'm going to be a good Samaritan, like in the Bible, and I'm going to go help this gentleman. And so he does, and he gets to the car, and one of the things that happens as soon as Doug touches the car door that's standing ajar is that the car essentially sucks Doug into the car and it essentially starts to eat him. Unfortunately, there is really no way around of telling that spoiler, but that's what essentially Mile 81 is about. It is about a car that sucks people in and eats them. It has been described as kind of like Christine in a way, and in my mind, it was scarier than Christine. Think about it, that this story is not very long, and in the beginning, you've got like this little part about Pete, and I wish that I had read this story with like a paper copy, where I could tell, okay, at the beginning, here's like the number of pages that happened with Pete, and here's the number of pages that happened when the station wagon popped up and, Doug came, and then there's other people involved, which I won't tell you about, because again, I want you to read this or hear this, and then here's, the ending, and that, the ending has, some pages that I won't tell you about, but within the pages that he deals with this car, it's very scary. And I happened to listen to it via audiobook, and it was very scary. And I'm actually glad that I was able to listen to it rather than read it, because I'm glad to know get the reader's, description of it, and kind of how whoever read the audiobook, his name escaped me, I'm sorry, but his kind of acting of it and things like that. So I enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I was finally able to listen to it. The next book that I'm going to review by Stephen King is a novel, finally. It's called Joyland. And that's the one I'll review next. And I bid you all farewell and happy reading.